Hi, welcome to Second Earth Alternative. This is Felipe Osorio. All right, we have quite an episode today. I know I say this often, but I honestly believe this might be the best episode with some of the best evidence we have ever had. I usually don't get more than a few thousands of views, like from 1,000 to 10,000. So that means whatever evidence that I demonstrate to you, it's going to be just a handful of individuals who are going to have these coordinates. And I'm absolutely confident, and I say this not often, that what I'm about to show you represents actual human evidence, human habitation in Antarctica. Now, I know that last time when I did the first part of the episode, there was a bit of backlash that happened in the comment section. A lot of people were kind of dissatisfied with the quality of evidence, basically stating that some of the rocks that I showed you, saying that they were evidence of human civilization, people pointed out different geological processes, such as the accretion of till, which is basically rocks that get pushed over by glaciers, as well as drainage systems that happen within the glacier that creates creases that could look like parallel rocks. I did take that into account. I really was thinking about that when I showed you guys the evidence. So I want to make up for the episode with this episode. So part of the reason why I was looking in the area for evidence, it wasn't like I was just scouring this entire continent larger than Australia and just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna find something. I went to a very specific area called Bunger Hills. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the area, but basically Bunger Hills is an area that does not freeze in Antarctica. It was first discovered by Admiral Richard E. Byrd during his expedition to Antarctica from 1946 to 1947. It was supposed to have been a 6-month expedition, but I believe he was only there for 2 months. We'll talk about that later. But basically, he flew over this area that they call like an oasis in Antarctica that basically it just doesn't freeze. There are like liquid lakes there. The land is free of snow. There's even, I think, a couple types of fauna that actually grows in the area. And what I found interesting, here's a quote that Richard E. Byrd talked about when he went over the area. He said, "It's one of the most remarkable regions on Earth. An island suitable for life has been found in a universe of death." So that's one of the reasons why I decided to look in this area. But another reason, which I think is really, really important to point out, is Secure Team 10. They broke 2 different stories regarding a UFO and a base that was discovered in Antarctica. Well, it happens that these discoveries are not only just a few miles from each other, but they are literally at the center of this Bunger Hill area. It's like a 952 square kilometer area free of ice. And the UFOs and all the anomalies have been discovered in this area. So that's why I'm looking there. Okay, so what I first wanted to show you was the Secure Team discovery of what could be an underground base. Now, I'm not saying that this is extraterrestrial or human-made. I'm just saying that there's something that is really, really strange in Antarctica that nobody's telling us what it is. So let me zoom in and show you guys what I mean. So once again, if you guys want the coordinates, it's right over here. But check this out. I'm going to zoom in really hard so you guys can really see these details. Look at this. This is an obvious artificial structure in in Antarctica. So, okay, so let's move on to the next anomaly that's in this area, and that is the saucer. So let me show you what we found, which I thought was rather interesting. And once again, I don't want to lose you guys on this because it's not the definitive evidence. It's just kind of interesting in the context of what I'm talking about. So check this out. Doesn't that look kind of artificial? I want to say it looks like a UFO. The measurements are about 20 feet across, but it's like the resolution is not perfect. So I'm not going to make that conclusion. I just think it looks kind of artificial. And if you look over here, there's another piece that looks artificial. And let me zoom in here so you can really see what I mean. And I had a discussion with one of the viewers in the last episode regarding whether these rocks have holes or not, but this is the example that I meant. I really believe that this rock has holes on it. I mean, if you look at this, and then look at the shadow. If you look at the shadow, you can kind of tell how symmetrical this rock is. To me, it looks almost like, I don't know, it just doesn't look natural. And neither does this, and they're kind of, just resting right next to each other, almost like long lost artifacts. So let me show you the Photoshop version so you guys can see what I mean. So if you zoom in over here, and all I did is I just went and put like a quick levels and a quick channel mixer, and look how clear you can see the holes in that rock. And then if you reduce the noise, look how circular that looks. So okay, so like I said, I don't want to lose you guys on this, okay? I just want to get to this smoking gun evidence that I think is absolutely going to blow you guys' mind. And I think this is really the first smoking gun evidence for human civilization in Antarctica. And you guys are going to have the coordinates right now. So let me show you. All right, here it is. So, take a look. It's kind of dark, so it's really hard to see. When I first looked at this, I was like, wait a second, is this what I think I'm seeing? But I think what's so interesting about this evidence is most of the evidence, when you start zooming in, it looks less like evidence. Like sometimes when you find something on Mars and you really zoom in, it starts looking, like the face of Mars. So it looks less like real evidence. But when you zoom in and it actually looks more artificial, that's when I kind of get blown back. So let me put this in Photoshop and show you guys what I mean. So if we go to Photoshop, we'll go to that exact same frame. And this is the dark version, right? So I did a basic levels, and let me show you what happens here. Look at this. Are you guys seeing this? So let's work with that. Look at these triangulations with these stones. Look, here's another one and another one right over here. And what shocked me about this was this perfect circular column. And I measured this. I think it has like a radius of 8 feet. So these are massive structures that we're talking about. But look at that. And then look at these stones right over here. Look how perfect they are. They all line up. And this complex, what it does is it kind of V's itself off into this narrow corridor. So let's go back to Google Earth. And see, it's a little bit dark, so you can't see how artificial it is. But this is what I mean. It's like you zoom in, you get really close, you brighten it up, and it looks even more artificial. And then if you just, go to the left over here, look at this. And I understand that in the process of glacier, when glacier creates till, which is like the glacier pushing excess rocks, I know that it can create cracks and things that look like that. But this, I don't know about this. I mean, this is looking really artificial to me. It's like you can almost see like missing blocks here. And this complex is what shocked me. This complex in which you see this perfect circle, this raised plateau, which is perfect. It has like this rhomboid kind of, almost like a parallelogram type shape, because if you look at these blocks over here, they have this kind of symmetry in which they kind of triangulate in this complex. And you guys just go to Google Earth, go to the coordinates, and look around, and you see what I mean. So, all right. So what does this mean? That's a complicated question, because we don't really know why there is these artificial structures in Antarctica. But also, Hitler, I think between 1936 and 1938, had all these expeditions to Antarctica. And he had even established a little area called New Swabia. But what I really wanted to explore was this concept of this woman. Her name was Maria Orsic. She was the leader of a society called the Vril Society. I know, she's bombshell, right? And here's what's so crazy. This woman believed that she was making contacts with an extraterrestrial from some light system. I think it was like 68 light years away. And she actually believed that humans had a heritage of at least 500 million years on this planet. And she got she was part of this society called the Vril Society. She was basically their leader. And the Vril Society, all these people, they had this belief that if you have long hair, which is not that different from the belief of Native Americans, but the belief that if you have long hair, it kind of creates a psychic connection to the world. And that's why all this, the Vril Society was composed of all this beautiful women with long hair all the way to the waist. And it was just kind of scary because these women, they had this very extreme beliefs that humanity, that there was like a pure race of humanity and they were like as old as 500 million years. And she might have actually affected Hitler in his perspective, because it was later discovered that many members of the Third Reich were part of not just the Vril Society, but also the Thule Society. Now, if somebody doesn't know what the Thule Society is, it's a society like the Vril Society, except it's based on a mythical island that used to exist, but is no longer there. So, really weird. A few of you guys might know about the case with the Rendlesham Forest, where they decoded the ASCII writings from one of the contactees of that incident, and they talked about exploration for humanity, and then the coordinates that they put was High Brazil, or at least where High Brazil used to be, which was a mythical island in ancient maps. So all this stuff is really, really weird to me. So basically we have this bombshell of a woman who, had this belief that she's making contacts with aliens by using her hair as an antenna, and might have affected Hitler. And by going through Google Earth and finding actual evidence, human civilization evidence in Antarctica, did we just find the next Atlantis? Is this a pre-Atlantis civilization? Or did we just verify a crazy Vril Society bombshell of a woman belief in which affected Hitler and possibly all of World War II? Could this be any stranger? This is Felipe Osario, signing out.